In this video, we're going to talk about personal loans and adult education. Welcome to the Mullooly Asset Show. I'm your host, Tom Mullooly, and this is episode 19, the Lost Met episode. We went through a whole list of Mets who wore number 19. We didn't really have too many worthy candidates, so we should just probably put up a picture of Mr. Met, I guess, here over in the corner. And there were a lot of people that wore 19. Tim Foley wore it twice. He got traded for Rusty Staub. Bob Ojeda wore it on the 86 Mets. Anthony Young, a name, if you're not a crazy Met fan, you probably don't recognize the name, but he lost 19 games in a row in the early 90s for the Mets. That's an MLB record. So the format for these videos is we take questions and topics that we have come up in conversations with our clients and other folks that call in, including a crazy lady in Ohio who's become a subscriber. And we put them in question format, and then we answer them as best we can. So if you've got a question, we'd love to hear from you. Casey, what do you got for the first question today?
I know you talked about it in a video before, but how important is it to have that safety net?
It's very important to have that safety net, and I know we talked about this in an earlier video as well, but I found an article that came out just a few days ago on MarketWatch that made me practically fall off my chair because I couldn't believe how silly it was, talking about personal loans. Bankrate, which is a pretty well-known website, Bankrate.com had a survey recently of 1,000 Americans, and more than 10% of them were talking about taking out a personal loan in the next 12 months. A big percentage of the respondents were between the ages of 18 and 29. So the article that was online talked about how millennials are taking out a personal loan. And they went on to explain that most millennials don't have, and they used the phrase that I used in a video a couple of weeks ago, they don't have $500 for an emergency car repair or $1,000 for a typical emergency room visit. That's crazy. That's exactly the same phrase. They must have been watching the video. So I'm also a little stunned that this many people are still operating without a safety net. Look, if you're going to swing from a trapeze or if you're going to be an American, you got to have a safety net. You have to. You have to. Now, we talk about having a safety net before you start investing money long-term for the market, but there's still a lot of people out there driving by you in the street that don't have a safety net, and that should worry you. This is the part that really makes me crazy, is that these are folks that are 18 to 29. I mean, my sons are in that age bracket. They're all in their 20s. They all have safety nets. So I'm not putting the fault on these young people for not having a safety net. You know who this falls back on? The parents. Where are the parents? What's going on? These people don't know anything, and they have to take out a personal loan. So they've got to make payments on this, and they got to pay interest on this money. It would be far better for millennials, any age, to call up their parents or call up a friend and say, I need $1,000. Can you help me out? And just take that money and put it in the bank if you don't have it, and then make payments on the side to get the money back over the next 6 or 12 months. But have a safety net. Have a safety net today. That's really important. There's something else in this MarketWatch article that totally gets me really worried. It said that a lot of these personal loans are going through places like Lending Club. What's scarier is that JP Morgan announced that they're going to acquire nearly $1 billion worth of personal loans from Lending Club. In 2005 and 2006, 10 years ago, maybe everyone's forgotten already, but we had these things called subprime loans, and there was a lot of shady lending going on That's just a really bad symptom of some things that might be spinning out of control in the market. But look, I'm putting this one back on the parents. Talk to your kids, educate them about having a safety net. It's very, very important. All right, Case, what do you got for number 2?
I got something in the mail about adult education. It's a financial planning course. Do you think it's worth it to go?
I think it's definitely worth it. In fact, we get them all the time. My wife and I get them all the time at home. In fact, in preparing for this video, I keep them. So I dug this one up, which we got just a few weeks ago in the mail. They're adult education courses. They're based in financial planning. They're usually something you got to pay like $39. That's what this one costs, $39. You got to go. This one was at a local high school here in Monmouth County, and they're going to talk about planning for retirement, retirement needs, Social Security, investing, estate planning, things like that. It's really great. A couple of things you got to understand. You have to pay for it. And most of the information is available online, but you got to sift through a lot of junk online to get the actual right answers. So this may be a shortcut, and it might be worth your time. The other thing that you really need to understand is that it's usually taught by a life insurance salesperson or a financial planner. So expect to get some kind of marketing. I would assume that they're going to try and reach out to you once the class is over to try and talk to you about different investment products. I mean, it's not a bad idea in terms of marketing for potential clients. They tell you, this one says it's for adults age 50 to 70. That's a pretty broad group. Maybe what we ought to do is get the parents to go to these financial planning courses and then talk to their kids about having a safety net. Hey, then we took care of both questions today in one fell swoop. We'll just send everybody to a financial planning course. A lot of this stuff is available online. A lot of the stuff is really common sense. But if you don't know a whole lot and you have some time and $39, go. I think it'll be worth it. Okay, that's what we've got for you today. We're looking for good questions, so send them on off to us. You can find us on Twitter, LinkedIn. We're starting a Facebook page. You can, of course, email us. You know what? Plain old telephone still works. Pick it up and call us, 732-223-9000. We're definitely going to have a couple of nice Mets to talk about in episode 20, so tune in then. Thanks for watching.